I'm Steve from This Week with Cars, and this is my Dodge M37 Offroad Wrecker. When I bought this truck, it was a running and driving vehicle. They claimed that it was something that I would be able to drive every day, but especially for bringing it out and putting it into hard off-road use, I did have to go through a lot of things. I put lockers front and rear on it. I changed the wheels to be double bead lock so that I could air them down, especially for the sand that we have out here in Sand Hollow. I also upgraded the ignition system, putting in a Pertronix ignition system. Went through all the hoses, oil filter, things like that. And then I also installed a set of Speedhut gauges. One reason was I only had 2 working gauges at the time, but another reason is even if I had fixed the speedometer, it was never going to be accurate because I might be changing tire sizes, might be changing gear ratios, and with their GPS speedometer, I know that it's always going to be accurate and it's always going to be working. So for this vehicle, I ordered Speedhut's Humvee line of gauges. These are made to go into the military version of the Humvee, but they really will fit any military vehicle. The sizes for the speedometer and the sizes for the other gauges are all the same. And I wanted to keep the look of these gauges looking as close as I could to the original, and yet having the reliability and of course the GPS option for the speedometer. In the back of this truck is a no-mar wrecker system, and these were actually built in Pocahontas, Iowa. This was in the truck when I got it. This truck was used by the Wyoming Forestry Service. This was a fire truck, would have multiple different uses, whether they had water tanks. They could have been using the wrecker to pull things or move brush. On the hood of this vehicle still is the number, so that when airplanes were flying over the fire, they would be able to look down and know which truck was where in the fire and communicate down to the drivers. So back here we have a sling, and this part would go underneath the front bumper of the vehicle that you're going to be pulling behind you, and the rubber straps here are just to protect the front bumper so that it doesn't get too damaged when you're lifting it up from underneath the bumper. But this will curve up in front of the vehicle and hold it so that when you hit the brakes on the truck, that vehicle doesn't come and slam into the back of the towing wrecker. This truck was originally painted in Army olive drab green, and then when the Forestry Service got a hold of it to turn it into a fire truck, they painted it originally red, and then the Forest Service later painted it orange. So this truck has been 3 different colors: the green, red, and now yellow. I mostly built this vehicle for taking it off-road, just to go wheeling with friends, but I didn't do this to use it for having a job of doing recoveries. This is just mainly for fun. Underneath the hood, I've kept it mostly original. It still has the original 6-cylinder flathead engine. The major thing that I've added is power steering. The first time I took it off-roading, it was a lot of work just to try to make corners, and sometimes when you're out wheeling you need to be doing steering with your one hand so that you can be doing other things, and the power steering has really helped me out with that. On the front of the truck I put on a 12,000-pound Badlands winch. I did have to clearance the original bumper just slightly and then also modify the original grille. I powder coated this with a rat rod rust color, and then I took some spray paint of the cream and put that over the top to make it blend in. This is one of my favorite vehicles. I love sports cars, but this thing just has some kind of charm and everybody goes crazy when they see it. So this one is probably a keeper.